Guys, just outside of Galesburg is a little town called Abingdon, Illinois, which is probably about 5 to 10 minutes away. I came here because there's a beautiful spot I would love you to meet, and it's pretty amazing. So let's take you. Now I'm taking you up the steps because otherwise, it was for me anyway, you got to know where you're going. So you're going the right way if you're walking to Subway, because right here is where the gym is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Quilting Emt Fabric Shop. Now let's go inside and look at how beautiful this place is.
Hi, welcome to the Quilting EMT. My name is Sabra.
It is so nice to meet you.
I'm so excited you're here.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you even got started.
Okay, so a really quick sped through rendition. I grew up sewing and quilting with my grandmother and my mother. My grandmother really gave me the passion and the love for quilting and all things fabric and sewing. I remember being a little girl and going to her house and sitting in her sewing room in awe, why she would be she made us clothes and little outfits for our dolls and stuff like that. And that really just instilled a love and a passion for this craft, which things are excitingly, more people are starting to do more sewing. There for a while, it kind of seemed like our craft was dying. So I'm really excited about that. And so as I've grown up, I've really wanted to have a quilt shop. And that's kind of a dream that I originally thought was not obtainable. So this is a lesson. If you don't think something's obtainable, keep working and you never know what might happen. So how I kind of got started in this business, there was a quilt shop here locally in Abingdon, and it was called Halford's House of Fabrics, and they closed, and I ended up buying her stock, and I ended up selling online for about 2.5 years. And then decided, since the fabric store was taking over our basement, to move into the community center here in Abingdon. And I rented just a little room. It was 10 by 15 is where I started, which was tiny but perfect because I wanted to just have somewhere to pack my fabric. And the same time I moved in, Joann's announced they were closing. And I was like, man, I feel like this is a sign from God. How much, more of a sign could you get? Like, you should open a fabric store. So we decided let's put a sign up. Let's, be more active on Facebook. I was already kind of on Facebook before, but let's, really beef up that social media presence. And I opened the door and got an open sign, and people came in and shopped. And I remember I have several kids, and I had a baby who was like 3 or 4 months old at the time. And I would have to move his stroller out when somebody would come to shop because there wasn't enough room for the 4 kids. Wow. And the customer and myself. But, I really love and have appreciated those humble beginnings because I've taken the small steps and I've been able to enjoy this journey and not be, super stressed about how I'm going to financially make all this work because I started so little. And it's just a really cool story how we started. So then we moved, after, I believe, 6 months, we moved across the hallway in the community center to a much bigger space. And that's where we've been for the last year. And we just moved into this new space. So you guys are getting to see our brand new space. We've only been open here for a week, and we're just so thankful. So that's kind of how I've gotten started. My name, I always love to tell people, because it's kind of a different name. How in the world did you come up with a Quilting EMT?
Yes.
And that is because I also work for GHOS. That is I tell people my real job. So I combined my love for EMS and my love for sewing and quilting. And that's how I've got that logo. It's super cute. I love my logo. And then the name. So that's just the really fast sped up version of how I got here.
Well, I love it. I love that you love quilting, and you guys haven't even seen what I'm about to throw on you. It's going to blow your mind, but you're a lifesaver and a quilter. That's pretty awesome.
It's kind of an odd pairing. I don't think it's been interesting. People are like, what? So I am an EMT. I've been with GHOS in August. It'll be my 6th anniversary. So I've been on the truck for 6 years, which is kind of crazy. Time has gone really quickly.
Wow.
All right, so I wanted to show you some of the quilt kits that we offer. These are half-pack quilt kits. These are from Sassy Sunflower if you're not familiar with them. So what this is you get to pick your kit, which we will show you some of our other options here in a minute, but this just gives you an idea. They come like this, so the fabric is picked for you, which is really cool because a lot of people struggle with picking the fabrics. I know that's a super stressful thing that I struggled with when I first started out. Does this go together? And before you know, you're overwhelmed and stressed. So this kind of takes the stress out of it. So it's the fabric's already picked for you, and then you get to pick your pattern, which is different from a lot of quilt kits because this is the fabric and this is the pattern. You don't really have any options. With this program, you do. So I wanted to show you some of the samples on the wall. So we've got the spin me around, the tumble block, the picnic basket, and we've got more that are going to be made. We're still in the process. There's 10 different patterns that come with these that you can choose from, which I really like. There's super easy ones all the way to kind of more difficult ones. So something super cool that we offer. This is exclusive to our shop. No one else within 50 miles can have these. So that's kind of exciting and cool for
Very nice.
us as shop owners. So as we continue down, we're just going to give you a little quick tour. This is our Christmas and our novelty and our different, we've got Halloween, Christmas, fall. We've even got some Valentine's stuff in there. Of course, we've got some kids prints. This is our wall of our Sassy Sunflowers we have currently. We make new kits every single day. Because they're so popular that I have to make them every day because then the wall would be empty. And then as we continue, we go into our colors. When I was putting everything up for the store here, I was really trying to decide how I wanted to organize my fabric because there's a million and one ways you can do it. And so I decided to go by color because a lot of our customers come in and say, I need something green, I need something yellow. And so that way we can go straight to that color section and it makes it easier for the customer and for me. And so I decided to do all of our really bright, vibrant colors right at the door. So it's just super warm and welcoming and inviting. So we've got those over here. Of course, we've got some really cool decorations. A lot of these have come from my grandmother. She wasn't able to come for our grand opening last May. If you guys have been following me for a little bit, you might have remembered we had a big grand opening event last year. So it's really cool to have parts of her, work in my shop because she lives in Texas, so she doesn't get up here very often. As we continue, we've got our fat quarters, some of our jelly rolls. I really love antique furniture, so I've really enjoyed being able to incorporate some of our antique pieces to hold our fabrics. I just think it makes it a little bit more cozy in here. Another one of those pieces is this antique sewing machine that came from Italy, and it was made in 1915, which is really cool, the history of it. And it works perfect to hold our panels and some of our sewing notions. One of the things that a lot of people make comments about is our church pews. I got them and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with them, if we were going to sit on them or what. And this is kind of what we ended up with. We have our batiks on the other side. All of our Riley Blake shabby line works perfect because they're a little bit taller bolts of fabric. So it works really well for these. And it also is just super cute and people always comment on them.
That's great.
Of course, we have our cutting table, and then there's another one of our Sassy Sunflower quilt samples, the Candy Lane, which I love that one. It just makes me think of the beach in the summer, which I would love to be at both. So something I want to talk to you about the services we offer. We do offer long arming services. Behind this door is my long arm, and I long arm for customers. So that is something that quite a few people are looking for. So we'd be more than happy to help you with that. Also, something that we brought in new for this shop is we have our Go Big AccuQuilt cutter. And if you're not familiar with those, it's a really cool device. It's got a die that you put your fabric, you fold it a very specific way, and then you run it through the machine. And this one specifically is electric, so there's no cranking. They have some hand crank ones. So this one, you just send it straight through and it will cut your fabric for you, which can be really, really helpful if you're doing something that has a ton of pieces that are the same size. So I have several different dies and that set up. So if you want to come in and check that out, I am offering rental for that. So you can bring your fabric and you can chat with us as you're cutting your fabric. Something else that we are hoping to bring into and integrate into this shop is doing classes. We would love to do some sew-alongs, quilt classes for beginners. I've got a lot of people that come in and say, my grandma gave me a sewing machine. It's in the same box. She gave it to me and I don't know what to do with it. So we'd love to do some very basic, this is a sewing machine, how to use it classes, all the way to let's make a quilt or make something specific. So that's kind of some of the things that are coming this summer. We're really hoping to do some of those classes. I would love to do some kids camps, some sewing classes for kids specifically, and do something that would be right on their age level or skill level. So definitely, if you're not following us on Facebook or TikTok, we have quite a large following on TikTok. I do a lot of my long arming content on there, so you can watch me long arm. If you bring me a quilt, I can do a shout out for you while I'm quilting, and I do lives over there. So definitely check those out, our social medias. That's the most up-to-date hours for when we're going to be open and whatever is going on. If we've got exciting events, so definitely follow that for more.